Hi, I'm Mr. Kangas, and today we're going to talk about Chapter 5, Section 2, Rational Numbers. And in particular today, we're going to talk about how to classify a number. When we're talking about a number, such as -6, for example, and you're asked to classify it, what that means is I want to know what number groups does -6 belong to. And I will tell you, most numbers belong to more than one group. Not every number does, but most numbers belong to more than one group. And so the groups that we typically look at when we're classifying numbers are rational. Okay. And if you're part of the rational group, within the rational numbers, you've got integers. And within the integers and the rational numbers, you've got whole numbers. And within the whole numbers, you have natural. Okay. Rational numbers oftentimes are represented by the letter R, integers by the letter Z, or no. I take that back. Rational numbers are represented by the Q. Okay? Natural numbers by N. And whole numbers by W. The other number group you're going to be faced with is irrational. Typically, irrational numbers only belong to the irrational group. So if we take a look at the number -6, for example, we'd have to refresh our memory on the definitions of these number groups in order to figure out what groups -6 belongs to. So rational numbers are any number that can be written as a fraction. Okay? Integers are any number that is a whole positive number or a whole negative number, and they also include 0. The whole numbers include all the whole numbers and 0. So in other words, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whole numbers do not include decimals or fractions. Integers do not include decimals or fractions. Natural numbers also do not include decimals or fractions. Natural numbers are very similar to the whole numbers. Natural numbers are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. They're your counting numbers. The only number not included in the natural numbers that is in whole numbers is 0. So the whole numbers have 0, the natural numbers do not. And kind of if you take a look at my list here, it's nicely written as far as the order goes, because it makes it easy to identify what group something belongs to. For example, if you have a natural number, that means it also belongs to the whole numbers, the integers, and the rational numbers. Okay? Because the whole numbers include, for example, 1, the integers include 1, and the rational numbers include 1. Any integer, whole number, or natural number can be written as a fraction, so they're all considered rational. Any integer, okay, the group of integers includes all of the whole numbers, because it includes the whole positive and the whole negative numbers. The whole numbers just include the whole positive numbers. And the natural numbers include the whole positive numbers except for 0. So the group is nicely organized. So -6 we know is an integer, which means it's also rational. So it is part of Z and Q. It is an integer and it's rational. It's technically not a whole number, and it's technically not a natural number, because those only include the positive whole numbers. Okay, and it's not positive. If I had 2.4, for example, it would only I would only include this into the rational numbers group, because if you remember, as I just said, integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers don't include decimals. Okay, but 2.4 can be written as a fraction, so it is a rational number, so it'd be in the rational group. If I took 5 is a natural number, so that means it's also a whole number, it's also an integer, and it's also a rational number. The only time you're going to have an irrational number is if it's a decimal that doesn't repeat and goes on forever, such as pi. Other than that, you're never going to see an irrational number. And so that's really all there is on classifying numbers into their number groups. So tune in for the next video on Chapter 5.